So prior to example 2 here, at the bottom of the page, they have this expansion completely. Now, this is not on your formula sheet, but this is the pattern. The coefficients, so whatever the power is right here, your coefficients in Pascal's triangle are going to be n choose 0, n choose 1, n choose 2, n choose 3, and it's going to keep on going until you get up to n choose n. So we can use the coefficients from combinations, and those are the same coefficients in Pascal's triangle. This, you will never use this one, but all of this one is all of those things in yellow if you expanded them using the formula. Right? N choose 0 is just 1. And n choose 1 is just n. And n choose 2, if you expanded it, would be n times n minus 1 over 2 factorial. But you would never write these all out all the way through until you get back to 1 again. We are going to look at the formula. There is a formula on your formula sheet. We're going to look at that one right after we do this example 2. So looking at this one, our exponent is a 3. That means we're going to have 4 terms in our expansion. If we look at Pascal's triangle, and we go to the row that has 4 terms, those will be our coefficients. So we can start off by saying that 4a squared plus 2b to the power of 3 is going to equal, and our coefficients are going to be 1, 3, 3, 1. Again, I'll leave some space in there for our terms. Then, in our first term, the 4a squared, you would start off with 4a squared 3 times, then 4a squared twice, then 4a squared once, and in the last one there would be no 4a squareds. Looking at our second term, the 2b, you'll start off with no 2b's, then 2b once, then 2b squared, and finally 2b cubed. There would be plus signs in between all of those. So one variable goes down by 1, the other variable or the other term goes up by 1. Then if you wanted to simplify this, well, if I'm going to cube 4a squared, 4 cubed is 64. A squared cubed is a to the 5 or a to the 6? What is the a to the 6? Okay. Again, think of it cubed. A squared, a squared, a squared. 3 of them like that. You're going to have 6 a's altogether in the end. Second one, exponents first. So this is going to be 16a to the 4 times by 2, 32 times by 3, 96. So we're going to have 96a to the 4b. This one, the only exponent here is the 2. This gets squared to become 4b squared. 4 times 4 is 16 times 3 is 48. A squared, b squared. And finally, 2 cubed is 8. B cubed is b cubed. So we've expanded it and simplified it. Now, often in what the questions that you're going to get, once we get to bigger numbers, like if this was a 12, expanding it completely would be huge, right? And a lot of work to do. Plus, some of the numbers are going to get really big, because if this was a 12, then you would start off with a 12 here. And 4 to the 12 is a very, very large number. And then 4 to the 11 in the next one would be very large. So we need a way to work with these, and they're not going to ask you all of the terms, but they might say, hey, in this one, in this expansion of 4a squared plus 2b, you know that there's 4 terms. What does the third term look like? Can you find just this one? And so in order to find just this one, they have a formula at the bottom of your page, and we're going to add to that to make it look just like it does on your formula sheet. So there's the formula at the bottom of your page. I'm going to take out a formula sheet, and we're going to talk about how it shows up on your formula sheet for your exam. So on your formula sheet for your exam, you have this. Just this. Tk plus 1 equals, and choose k, a to the n minus k, b to the k. So what is in blue is what's on your formula sheet. What we write here in black is stuff to help you remember what things stand for. Okay? This expansion is for a plus b to the n. So on your formula sheet, they use a and b. You can see in the textbook, they're using x and y. So a little bit about what everything stands for. N, that's whatever your exponent was to start off with. So if you had a plus b to the 7, then n is 7. A plus b to the 12, then n is 12. So whatever our exponent is right at the beginning, that's our n. Now, k is always one less than the term number. So if you want to find term 5, then k would be 4. If you wanted to find term 7, then k would be 6. So k is always one less than the term number. Everything else is obvious from here. A is the first one in your binomial. B is the second term in your binomial. And the C there is just for n choose k. So it might be 8 choose 3, 7 choose 5, different numbers there. Some other notes. We've talked about this already, but there are always n plus 1 terms in the expansion. So if we go back to the example that we just did, and we were asked only to find term 3, and you have your formula says, we'll write out the formula here again in blue. This is what's on your formula sheet. If I wanted to find this third term in the red box, then my k value, I want to find term 3, then my k value is going to equal 2. And you can see that directly from here, that k plus 1 has to equal 3, k has to be 2. That's the only way that k plus 1 is equal to 3. If we're finding term 3, n is the exponent. In this original expansion, we had an exponent of 3, so this would be 3 choose k is 2. Our first term was 4a squared. That will be to the power of 3 minus 2. And our second one was 2b. That will be to the power of 2. So you go to your calculator, and when you're using your formula, a very good first step is just to do each of these 3 things separately. So 3 choose 2. Maybe you know that in your head is 3. Maybe you take out your calculator and type that in. 3 minus 2 is 1, so this one simplified will just be 4a squared. 2b squared will be 4b squared. So all I would do is each one of those terms, simplify their exponents first, or the combination. And now you've got 3 things multiplied together. Multiply the numbers together. 4 times 4 times 3 is 48. And then put your variables, a squared, b squared. And we can see that this value that we got using the formula is exactly the same as what we got when we expanded the whole thing completely. So now what we're going to be doing is looking at just single terms and figuring them out. you can add question number 7.